First pile up in the rear, I style up in my gear. Stallion of the year, medallions in my ear. Whips on my fist, houses on my wrist. Your budget on my neck, your spouse on my dick. Okay, first pile up in the rear, I style up in my gear. This is contrast by timing. First pile up in the rear, chaos, collision, aftermath, people crashing out. I style up in my gear. Composure, presentation, readiness. Cam is saying, while others are dealing with consequences, I'm getting dressed correctly. That fits the roly-poly, coldly hold heat logic. He's not reacting emotionally, he's moving on schedule. Stallion of the year, medallions in my ear. Here Cam shifts into animal plus status metaphor. Stallion equals dominance, breeding power, prized male, uncontrollable energy. Of the year, award framing, competition, ranking, medallions in my ear, trophies, proof, adornment. This isn't just sexual bravado, it's hierarchy language. He's framing himself as valuable, chosen, displayed, which sets up the next escalation. Stallion of the year equals dual ownership, dual display. The stallion is doing double labor here. On the first layer, what we already covered. Stallion is a dominant male, prized horse, energy, virility, status. That part is obvious. Let's talk about the second layer, the one that people miss. In street plus hip-hop slang, stallion has long been co-opted to describe a woman with a powerful, well-endowed body, especially hips, thighs, and ass. A body that draws attention the way a prize animal would. So when Cam says stallion of the year, he's doing intentional ambiguity. I am the stallion, I arrive with the stallion. That's not a contradiction, that's mirroring. He says, I'm dominant and I move with dominance. I style up in my gear to stallion of the year. This sequencing matters. He doesn't say stallion first, then appearance. He says, I style up, then you see the stallion. Meaning, the presentation is curated. The woman on his arms is part of the ensemble, just like the gear, the medallions, the cars, the jewelry. Not in a dismissive way, but in a status signaling way. It's the same logic as Jeff Hamilton jacket, medallions and ears, houses on wrists. Everything visible is symbolic capital. Okay. Medallions in my ear equal trophies, not accessories. When you pair stallion of the year, medallions in my ear, you get animal imagery, prize, judged, ranked, awards imagery, medals, trophies. This turns Cam into the winner, the exhibitor, the one being looked at, which mirrors racetrack culture, horse competitions, gambling environments. This is not accidental. Horses, racetracks, gambling, one continuous motif. We clocked something really important. Earlier we had dice, chips, dogs, rots, pits, racetrack. Now we get stallion. That's not random escalation, it's refinement. Dogs equal protection. Horses equal investment and betting. You guard the house with dogs. You make money with horses. So Cam moves from defense to high stakes display and wagering. Same ecosystem, higher tier. Your spouse on my dick. Who is he referring to? Is it definitively the same stallion woman? We can't say 100%. But does Cam want you to connect those dots? Yes. Because structurally, he just introduced a prized woman. Then immediately invokes another man's spouse in a dominance context. So whether literal or symbolic, the meaning lands as the women I move with and the women you're attached to are both under my influence. That's social dominance, not just sexual shock. It's the same humiliation logic as your budget on my neck. Financial plus romantic status collapse at once. And let's talk about why this fits Cam's writing style. Cam loves mirrored ownership. I own the game. The game reflects me. I am the stallion. I walk with the stallion. He's not just in the system, he's symbolizing it. Okay? I walk in styled with a prize beside me, decorated like a winner, operating in gambling spaces where power, bodies, and money all circulate. And I dominate across all of them. That's not accidental swagger, that's thematic continuity. And the fact that this ties back to racetracks, gambling, display, risk, ownership, means this verse is way more architected than people give it credit for. Whips on my fists, houses on my wrist.
This is pure asset compression. Whips equals cars, houses equal real estate, fists, wrists equal body parts. Cam is saying my wealth is so normalized it attaches to my body. He's not listing possessions, he's showing ownership density. That mirrors earlier lines. Chips instead of money, dice instead of cash, 8 stacks instead of a lot. Everything is converted into units. Your budget on my neck, what else? Your spouse on my dick. This is the ugliest bar on purpose, and it's not accidental. Cam is doing economic humiliation, not just sexual provocation. Your budget on my neck equals your entire financial capacity as my accessory. What else? Dismissal, boredom, inevitability. Then the last line isn't about sex. It's about the total loss of status. He's saying, I out-earn you, outrank you, and outposition you socially. It's a zero-sum flex. Your loss is his proof. Why this section sounds so aggressive? Because this is the peak of the verse. Earlier, Cam was tactical, detached, procedural. Here he's asserting dominance after the system is already built. This isn't him hustling. This is him standing on outcome. While others crash out, I stay composed. I'm dominant, decorated. My wealth is bodily, and my position eclipses yours completely. It's meant to be excessive. It's meant to be uncomfortable, because Cam is showing what happens when power isn't trying to be liked. And honestly, after everything we've already broken down in this song, this section reads less like random vulgarity and more like the inevitable conclusion of the system he's been describing the whole time.